Greetings, friend. How are you doing today? I have a question for you tonight. Have you ever have you ever hear or read a eulogy? A eulogy, which is in the Western culture at least, is usually when you are at somebody's funeral or memorial or something like that after someone passed away, typically, but occasionally it's before someone passed away, but toward the end of their life. But in general, the eulogy is something that a loved one of whomever that passed away shares in the eulogy about the person who just passed away or on few occasions who is about to pass away. And I know it might sound a little morbid to you right now, so just bear with me right now. It's not morbid at all. And so, but with the eulogy, we many times, unless you're very young, if you've been to a funeral, and depend on the culture, but if any of it in Western influenced culture and sometimes even in Eastern culture, we hear eulogy about somebody who has completed their time on this earth as human being for this lifetime. And the last few eulogy I heard, the last few eulogies of friends and acquaintances and so forth that whom I heard or read was very inspiring. It's very inspiring in very different way. One person is a very of somebody who is very successful, super famous, super well known in the field that this person at. Very well known, a pioneer in the field. And so this achievement and one after another, like the degree and the title is like 5 miles long and so on and so forth. And then the other person who is an amazing, wonderful, lovely person did not have 5 miles length of letters behind their names. None at all. But it is just as beautiful and, if anything, more heartwarming to me to listen to read about. And so it doesn't mean that a eulogy, just a nice eulogy, has to be for somebody with super high achievement or 5 miles of degrees or something like that. But both eulogies, which is like quite a contrast. One is somebody who is very sweet person, but not have no formal educations behind beyond college associate degree or something, and the other one is like triple professor, and they both are very inspiring to me. And so at the same time, it's make me think. It make me think about the contrast, and it make me think. And this is something we actually train to do as a grief specialist, but I have not done honestly for a little time. And when I was sitting there, I said, "That's very interesting. What would I love to hear in my eulogy if I were to die tomorrow?" And none of us know for sure. We would love to, I would love to be here tomorrow, but none of us at the end of the day know. Thank you, Reina. Thank you very much. None of us know for sure we're going to be here tomorrow. That's the truth. Not to being morbid, that's just the fact. And so, knowing that, what would you love to hear on your eulogy? And since we don't know if we're going to be here or not tomorrow, and also, and the second part of that is when people talk about the eulogy, they didn't just talk about the achievement. They didn't just talk about the long letters behind somebody's name. They talk about how the person is day to day. The person, she is very one person, she was a very humble person. She was very humble, very generous, so eager to help, and very approachable despite being a pioneer, top of the field person. And then the other one was a person who is very giving, and every day and every moment in every. So it's about our eulogy it's not necessarily just about our achievement. A lot of time it's not, but it is also how we are day to day. And so, with that in mind, with the two facts in mind, that one, our eulogy is about us day to day, and the second is our eulogy is about and with our that we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow. It's very apparent to me, at least. It's very apparent that the way we will be able to be the mentions in our eulogy, the only way to be that way, to be mentioned in whatever that we would love to hear in our eulogy, is by doing that today and every day of the day. And that means if you would love to somebody to remember you as somebody who is caring and loving and always do everything the very best you possibly can. That means, since we don't know, like Mandino in his fifth lesson in the greatest salesman in the world, that has 10 key lessons, actually not just on being great salesman, but also in living life very, very well. Then the fifth lesson is, I will live this day as if it is my last. Now, we're not being morbid, and we're not being saying we're just going to throw out of the window, because as if it might not be our last, but what if this is my last? If it is not, we're grateful. We wake up grateful and we complete the day grateful tomorrow. But if it were your last, then how would you live this day such that your eulogy, whatever it is that you would love to hear in your eulogy, is actually reflected in there? That people actually remember you the way you would love to be remembered. On Monday and Tuesday, on Monday is Tuesday, including today, I work at the hospital. And someday it's a very full and fairly long day, something like in the vicinity of 12, 13 hours. And sometimes at the end of the day, and I look at the call list that I have not called, and I knew I will not get in trouble. I will not get in trouble if I just wait until tomorrow. You know, but sometimes not only I am trained to complete every day the very best I can. When I was thinking about this topic, and that's including tonight, this evening actually, there is a client who really trusting with me and just really love me, really trust me, and always rely on me being there for her. And there was a part of me after being at that hospital 13 hours. I said, I just don't even want to call this anymore. And just to be honest. And there is a part of me, and actually as I was thinking about this topic as well, I say, if for some reason I did not come back tomorrow, what would I love that client to say? Would I love that client to say, if something were to happen and I don't wake up tomorrow, would I love that client who trusts me with her whole heart and mind and spirit to say, well, okay, I forgive her for not calling me back yesterday. Apparently, she has a reason. She probably wasn't feeling well. I forgive her. Which is not so bad, right? I mean, that's not so bad. I usually call her. So, I mean, that's definitely a great excuse. Or would I love for her to say, wow, turn out, looking at everything, I was the last person to speak with her at this hospital. And I'm so grateful for her to be so caring, and that I felt her love and her care even at that very last moment. And I have such an even more beautiful memory of her. Nothing to forgive. It's just all beautiful memory. And if you know me well enough, you know that I choose the second one because I like to be consistent with everything that I do. And I would love to be remembered as best as possible that I do. So I called the clients. It took me about 4 minutes at the very most to speak with her. But I could tell how worried she was. and how discouraged and how stressed he was. And when she heard me explaining just one thing, everything turned 180-degree. And in that at the end of that 4 minutes conversation, she felt so much better just from her voice. I could tell that. And that was so life-giving for me, such that even if I don't wake up tomorrow, I know that I have done the very best I could today, and and that I live what it is that I would love to be remembered in my eulogy. And so, what is it that you would love to be in your eulogy? Not to be morbid, but it is actually as a tool to empower us. Because if we know what we would love to be remembered in our eulogy, the day to start such that we will be remembered in what it is that we would love in our eulogy. It's not tomorrow. It's not the year before we die, because we never know when we're going to die. It's today. And so I invite you, if you like to just join me. And again, not being morbid, but using it as a tool of empowerment and a tool of empowering ourselves. And to just join me this evening when you go to sleep, you just say, what is it that I would really, really love for people to say in my eulogy? And then say, have I been living this on a day-to-day basis? If I did not wake up tomorrow, if I don't come back to work, if I did not see my significant other, my children, my whomever tomorrow, how would they remember me today? And if the answer is perhaps not in alignment of what you would love them to remember you as, if it's not in alignment what you would love people to say in your eulogy, perhaps, if you like to join me, to just start today such that day to day you are doing the very best that you possibly can, that even if we don't wake up tomorrow, we will still be remembered the very best version of ourselves. And we don't know if we wake up or not. If we do wake up, then we're grateful. And as we complete the day, we're grateful for that too. So please share in the comment below if you'd like to, what it is that you would love people to say in your eulogy, if you like to. And please share your feedback in the comment below. I love your feedback, Reina. Thank you very much. And please feel welcome to share this video with anyone that you love. This is Burjit with From Grieving to Joyful Living. And I hope you continue to live very, very well for many, 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 many more decades. And at the same time, living our best day to day, every moment at the time, because we never know, perhaps this must be our last day. Perhaps we will have another 100,000 days in front of us. And I look forward to see you again very, very soon.